Hey everybody, I'm Butch Hartman. Welcome to Speech Bubble. I got Jace and Ray DeLaurentis, my story editor from all my animated shows.
Hey kids, don't go to film school. It doesn't help.
Nice. Roll the theme music.
Yeah.
But see, this is the great part about working with Ray and the Ray and Fairly OddParents. Was we would just laugh all day long.
Yeah.
And my wife would get so mad at me. I'd come home just being in the greatest mood. She's like, "What are you so happy about?" I'm like, "We were laughing all day."
Well, I said that at every time we had any kind of a dinner. I said my job, working with you at Nickelodeon at least, the rest of it maybe not quite as funny, was I got paid to laugh all day.
Yeah.
No, we did.
Yeah.
So
and
how does the writer's room work? Like, how does it start an episode?
yeah,
And then get to the writer's room?
since Ray is here,
Yeah, I
and
wanna
he's our
know,
special
yeah.
guest, I'll have Ray tell you how.
Yeah.
How did it work for us?
Oh, it worked for us this way. Like either Butch or I would come up with an idea in almost every case. I think we pretty much had every story on it.
You were really coming up with a ton of them, though. I mean, you really.
I came up,
but I was working on the show for like 7 years before you got there, so I was like, cool, another guy to think of ideas.
Oh,
about.
yeah, well, that's hard. It's a burnout job to do that by yourself. But I love the show and I love what I do. So I would have a fun idea.
I didn't think of every idea in those 7 years. I'm just saying, after 7 years, it's like, I'm glad Ray showed up because
I mean,
an idea guy.
So I'd come up with an idea, let's say, and I would say like this. I'll give you an example. The show Add a Dad we did.
Yeah.
I came up and I said, what if Dad, because we were all going through this, is so everywhere. He has to do so many things that he can't spend enough time with Timmy. Right. And so I said, and Timmy wishes for extra dads and they keep multiplying. I went in a room with Butch, who is like a muse to me. And in about, I'm going to say less than a minute, we had the entire episode.
Yeah.
Wow.
The entire
Like the
thing.
outline of it, or
All you had to do was write it down.
Oh yeah. Oh,
It was
wow.
it was all there. So I went and then I had brought in some other very funny people. Will Schifrin, my partner, most of the time being one of them. He's a very funny joke
Now,
writer.
are you Batman or is he Batman? Who's Robin in that?
I don't know.
You know?
I don't know.
Are you both Batman?
I think I'm more Batman.
And he's kind of who is he in the Batman universe?
I think he's the supercomputer. He has some information sometimes I don't
He
have.
does have information.
He knows how to spell, which helps. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, and Will's dad, Will Schifrin's father.
Oh, yeah.
Another story we can't tell.
Schifrin, who wrote Mission Impossible.
Wrote the theme to Mission Impossible. So he's been a partner of mine over the years. Will is an amazing guy because Will can literally pick a joke out of nothing.
No, Will is amazing.
He's a funny guy.
We had the great Kevin Sullivan as well.
Yeah, he's a funny guy and a super clever guy. The great Kevin Sullivan story was, I said, okay, Timmy's on a soccer team. They need to be. I'm going to forget the punchline. They need to be a terrible team. I said, what's the name of the team? Kevin said, the Victims. There's no beat. They're the victims. He looks back down.
Like
so that was it. So
I think it was very close to Kevin's life.
it was. He was a professional victim, but a wonderful guy.
Kevin is
So we have an idea, right? And then I would go by myself and I would beat out everything of the idea. And then I would say, okay, what's every possible joke for this joke pit? And I would just brainstorm and have a super good time. But wouldn't even think about the story because the structure was already there and the main idea was already there. And I'd throw everything into it. Then I'd bring people in. We'd throw stuff into it and we'd talk to Butch. And we'd all have a meeting where we toss every funny idea we had, 90% of which we could not use. But a lot of which, Butch always had one idea at least that took the whole story and made it like 1,000 times better. And we would do that.
I'm not even paying him to say that.
Well, I told you I don't lie. So anyway, but everyone had great ideas. And so then we would write it. And then because I had been schooled in how to do something right the first time. And I think a lot of time people just go and they do their job as story editors. They do the least they can do. They take their money. They get a check every week. I had to learn that if you do something great the first time, like if the first draft is great, you're golden. If you have to throw out the first draft, which you have the most time to work on, you're kind of done.
When you first got there, I had been doing it where I gave every writer a script to write. They would always write their own scripts, but then we would rewrite them all. I'd sit down and we'd go, and then we'd have a team meeting. We'd all rewrite everything. And then we started coming up with, look, let's just have all you guys write the first draft. Because it's just better that way.
Yep. Well, we were behind because of that. And the thing is, what you can do is, because, what you can do is this. You can give any writer a script to write, but it has to be kind of bulletproof by the time you give it to them. Everybody has to wade in. That writer has to feel comfortable. They have to have their own input that they feel like, well, I can sell this idea. Yeah. I can write this turn. Yeah. This is the joke I like. And then what you want to do is you give them everything they like. You just make sure it works. Yeah. And if they're stubborn about something that doesn't work, and we had that a few times, you have to say you can't do that. Because what eventually happened with Butch knows, I know, eventually we got a group of writers who were also craft skilled. In other words, they had worked on so many things that they understood craft so well
Right.
that no one ever pitched anything that didn't work.
Right.
Oh, okay.
It's like, you know, because it's a craft. It really is. It's like building, I say it's like building a mobile.
Yeah.
You know, it's like every piece has to balance. And the great example is, you know, the most enduring duo in television history, who is Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock. You know, they went away from them for 9 years and went back to them in the Star Trek series because of this. They have the most emotional, passionate man in the universe. The mobile goes down. Then they have the most logical, cold-blooded, in a way, man in the universe, and they balance out. So everything in a story, everything in a show has to balance itself out.
See, it all comes back to Star Trek. I always say that.
It really does.
Yeah.
It really does.
We had Vic Mignogna in here who does Star Trek Continues. He's a huge Star Trek fan.
Yeah.
But he's exactly right. And I love the word craft because a lot of people don't understand. They go, I want to be a writer. Great. It's a ton of work. And I hope you do want to do the work because we really need good writers out there.
Yep.
But it is a craft. And like you said, people had worked on stuff. We had people that worked on sitcoms for years and worked on movies for years. It's structuring those things in writing a movie is way different than writing an 11-minute.
It couldn't be less similar.
Yeah, I know.
Because I've done really every form.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I really think one of the things that has helped me a lot is that I really...
Was the medicine a big help?
I haven't gotten medicine yet. They said I don't qualify.
Okay.
They said you're not legitimately depressed. Okay, you're oppressed briefly.
We can get you some medicine, I'm just saying.
I'll take medicine.
Okay, there you go.
So I'll check it out at least for a day. But the thing is that you have to be... You can't be full of yourself. It's not about you. It's never about you. It's not about whether you like it. It's not about whether you're okay with it. It's about the project. It's about the script. It's about the character. And you have to give yourself completely to that. You cannot superimpose what you want on what works best. So you have to be willing to throw anything out for the thing itself.
Yeah.
You know?
If you're working on a show that's already been established for a while, you got to write that show. It's great if you bring your own thing to it.
Yeah, that's right.
But you can't go, I want to make this into a... No.
You can find ways to make like when I came in Fairly OddParents, which was pretty much a perfect show for kids. I think it's a literal and figurative wish fulfillment fantasy. It couldn't be better. But when you come in, I thought, okay, what hasn't been done? Who are the characters that haven't been put together? Who are the money characters that you could do new things? And I started throwing Crocker and Dad together in episodes because they're cripplingly funny. Right? And then I did. Dad finds Cosmo stuffed in a lamp and he thinks he's a genie. You know? And it's like, well, that's a genie, and all the jokes they made us throw out. He's somewhere between a witch and a genie. You're a weenie. Couldn't do it.
Did we do one where Crocker and Dad decided to take out each other's enemies? Crocker would take out Dinkelberg.
It was from the Hitchcock movie Strangers on a Train.
Yeah. If Dad would take out Crocker's mom.
Yeah, that's right. And they were on the kids' train at the mall when they met. Yeah.
Exactly. And then Crocker becomes best friends with Dinkelberg.
He loves Dinkelberg. Dinkelberg breaks him down because he's so kind. So Dinkelberg's kindness actually melts Crocker's shell, and he tries to save himself in the end and blows himself up. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Were there any stories that the network wouldn't let you do?
No, they were great.
Oh, okay, cool.
They
were great. I mean, look, the Nickelodeon was smart in a lot of ways, okay? And one of the ways they were smart was, in the same way I think Butch is really completely unique as a creator. When something worked, they let it go. Like other people, Will and I and other people that have worked with you still talk about this. Butch would have something and it would be great. And if you had a totally different idea and he thought it was better, he'd go, just do that. No ego. And once again, it's giving to the process. You know, it's just saying what's best.
Yeah.
And you know. Still not paying him to say this.
Oh, wow.
And no medicine.
Not yet. Not yet.
Exactly.
Not yet.